Citizens.
I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Maplewood Community Design Review Board. Today is Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. We're in the City Hall Council Chambers. It is now, looks like 6:04, and we will begin. Next thing is roll call. Usually I don't do roll call, except for we do have one person who is attending remotely, and we have some problem with him being able to speak to us and our being able to speak to him. But
I can hear you now.
Okay, problem solved. We do have a quorum regardless, so we'll call roll. Bill Kempe, here.
Jason Lamers, present.
Tom Hausen, present.
Anand Shankar, present.
Okay, that's 4 out of 5. We will move on to the next thing is the approval of the agenda. Anything from staff?
Nothing additional from staff.
Anything from the board?
No adjustments. I motion to approve the agenda for the March 17th Community Design Review Board.
And I second.
Okay, Jason approves and Tom seconds. No discussion, we'll call it to a vote. All those in favor, actually, we'd have to do roll call. Sorry, thank you. Bill Kempe says aye.
Jason Lamers says aye.
Tom Hausen, aye.
Anand Shankar, aye.
Okay, that's 4 in favor. We will move on. Next is the approval of the minutes. Anything from staff
Nothing additional from staff.
or the board?
I had no changes.
Okay,
I'll motion to approve the minutes from the January 20th Community Design Review Board meeting.
I'll second.
okay, and a motion from Jason, second from Tom. No discussion. We will take that to a vote. Bill Kempe says aye.
Jason Lamers, aye.
Tom Hausen, aye.
Anand Shankar, aye.
Okay, we'll move on now to new business. E1, Design Review Resolution, St. John's Hospital Expansion, 1575 Beam Avenue East. Report, please, from staff.
All right. Good evening, Chair and Board. If I can just get the PowerPoint screen up. All right, perfect. So tonight we are reviewing St. John's Hospital. It's proposing a 189,600 square foot expansion to their hospital facility located at 1575 Beam Avenue. The addition is 4 stories. There'll be some site circulation changes, removing an existing parking ramp that's on near Hazelwood and Beam, some new surface parking, and their construction timeline is approximately 22 months. It's a 28-acre hospital campus. Their original CUP was approved in 1982 with some amendments in 1997, 2008, 2021, and 2023. So tonight they're requesting approval to amend their conditional use permit, a setback variance, parking waiver, and design review. The comprehensive plan and zoning, land use controls, It's guided for employment, zoned business commercial. The future land use classification is for higher density office, clinical, major employment centers with an emphasis on job retention and creation. The project complies with the 2040 comp plan and the applicable ordinances. So again, the original CUP was approved in 1982, and there's been other amendments since, with the most recent in 2023. A hospital is permitted in any zoning district with a conditional use permit. There's no concerns from staff with the continued use of the site as a hospital. And there is one item that will be required with this project is a traffic study for the intersection at Hazelwood and St. John's Boulevard, and that'll be discussed briefly later too. Here regarding the setback variance. So on the right, you'll see the site plan, and this is the street of Hazelwood there, running north and south. On the bottom of the screen, running east and west, is Beam. You'll see the building addition on the right there. And then just to the north, you'll see a little bit of that surface parking where there's now an existing ramp. So the structures are required to be 30 feet from the property line there. The proposed addition, the building, will be set back 20 feet, so requiring a 10-foot setback variance. The existing parking ramp to be removed, it kind of varies a little bit as the property line changes, but it's currently 5 feet from that property line. So in this way, it will be set back a little farther, but that's the setback request that they are making tonight. In addition to that, there's 2 small electrical transformer boxes that would be installed right up to that property line. We don't have a designated setback in our code for those, but we did put that approval. We noted it in the conditions on the design review, just so that it's clear that we're permitting that it be right there. Parking. So the current CUP requires a minimum of 1,252 spaces, and the campus currently has 1,594 spaces. The campus includes a hospital and 3 medical office buildings. Prior to construction, the applicant is going to be constructing or adding 135 new spaces, and those will be permanent. And it's in the northeast corner of the campus. So as you go towards Kennard Street and the entrance on St. John's Boulevard, there's an area right there. You can see it's the darker shaded area in this image on the right on the screen. That will be added. So there's an existing parking area, and then it'll be added on just east. So right now, the hospital has a valet service as well as escorts to provide, help getting to their vehicles, and that would continue with this addition. After the project is completed, there would be 1,440 spaces available for the campus, and just over 1,185 would be dedicated for the hospital. The applicant's comfortable with the number of spaces, due to how the hospital is programmed and its experience with other facilities across the region. And staff, we detailed this, Mike put together kind of a detailed analysis in the report, but did look at other parking ordinances from the Twin Cities, suburban communities that have a hospital, and the minimums, they widely varied, anywhere from 129 spaces to 1,599. But the 2 that he had focused on in there were Stillwater, they're building a new hospital, and Woodbury, which is also owned by the applicant. And did some analysis based on those 2 requirements. And this was kind of the summary of all that. I'm not going to get into everything, but that Stillwater and St. John's would have the same parking ratio of this 2.12 spaces per 1,000 square feet, and the Woodbury code would require about half of what they're requiring here. So although their post-construction parking is just slightly lower than their existing level, it will exceed the previous CUP requirement. So what's written in there now, it will be more than that. The proposed 1,440 stalls is comparable to the minimum requirements in other nearby communities, and it would maintain the hospital operations and their type of programming that they offer. The applicant is required to add parking, so if there is a shortage, and that's demonstrated, and that's an issue that needs to be addressed, they'll be required to provide additional parking. Our code does not specify parking requirement for a hospital use, and so what we do is, in this case, it says staff can look at similar uses and determine parking requirements based on other, refer to other information based on the parking demand for that type of use in other areas. So that's what we've did. Looking here at the addition, on the west side of the existing hospital, it has connections to the existing building. All the access drives will remain, no changes to the circulation on the site or St. John's Boulevard. There will be temporary relocation of the main and emergency department entrances during construction. And post-construction, the entrances to the hospital and emergency department will remain in the same place. Replacing, there's a retaining wall along Beam Avenue that will be replaced that's falling or failing, and adding some improving the pedestrian circulation overall along St. John's Boulevard. Let's see here, and the connectivity, yes, between the different buildings. So between the hospital, the parking areas, the clinic, and Hazelwood. So, one thing, and we did touch on this a little bit at the beginning, so there has been neighborhood concerns regarding the intersection of St. John's Boulevard, Hazelwood Street, and the M Health Clinic entrance across. So given the expansion and there's going to be some increase in traffic potentially, an analysis of this intersection is required to determine if a change for the intersection control is warranted. So this was detailed in the engineer's comment, and so they'll be required to submit a study to the city engineer, and they'll be responsible for any costs associated with that or any necessary control changes that are resulting from that. Here's kind of a side-by-side. So on the left, you'll see the existing conditions at Hazelwood and Beam. On the right, the proposed conditions. You can see the parking ramp area, the existing kind of emergency area, and how that will be a little bit different over there. So overall massing is on the southwest portion of the campus. The materials complement the existing building and the surrounding area. Brick proposed in areas closer to the existing building, and stone veneer panels and metal accents proposed for the portions of the addition extending to the west and south. The overall design is attractive, keeping with the existing campus and neighborhood buildings. Tree removal and the new landscaping is all focused in the areas of the expansion for the most part, but there's also some additional planting around the new parking areas along Hazelwood and Kennard. Tree replacement requirements are being met. Applicant's lighting plan was submitted and meets requirements. The city's review process. We received comments from our engineering, environmental, and building divisions. The applicant held a neighborhood meeting with a Q&A session early February, and they did provide a copy of some of the questions that were asked and their response at the time, and that was included in your report. Staff sent public hearing notifications to the surrounding 309 properties, and we did not receive any comments prior to the meetings this evening. Tonight, the Design Board and the Planning Commission later at 7 will review this project. It's tentatively scheduled to go to the Council on April 13th. And with the conditions of approval and the motions in your report, staff is recommending approval of this project. And happy to answer any questions that you have. We do have a handful of folks here from that represent the applicant as well to answer any other specific questions.
Yeah, good question. It said that if at a later date it's determined that more parking spaces are needed, they'll be required to do that. What's the mechanism for doing that?
I mean, I think the way we have it written in the condition where we talk about the parking requirement in there. As far as the mechanism to do that, that would be the mechanism. I think we would base it off of what we find from that study that they will do as part of the engineering requirement, but then also if we observe and hear that there are real concerns and issues there regarding parking or circulation on the site.
Okay. Well, I imagine there will be complaints, because people always complain, like, it's too far to get to the door, but,
Yeah,
but, I think our only real concern is that there is enough parking spaces,
yeah.
so.
And from that standpoint, we're not concerned at a staff level. There certainly is, I think it's a part of the issue is a perception, because it's not, it's not like a walkway or enclosed. So I think part of that is a perception. But they did reassure us that there is a valet service, as well as they have safety escorts to help with people that maybe, if they're leaving later in the evening, at dark, when it's dark. But at this time, and this would maybe be more of a question for the applicant, there's no plan to build a enclosed structure there, at least not right now, so.
Okay.
I mean, you go to United Hospital, you go to downtown hospitals, it's the same situation. You're walking in longer distance and
Yeah.
cold.
Well, this past summer, I had to use, had to have some work done at one of their buildings, and it was raining. So I thought, we got a real problem with parking here, but that's my own personal problem. But anyway, would the applicant like to come forward? Please state your name for the record, sign in.
Hi, good evening. My name is Danielle Gethke. I'm the Vice President of Hospital Operations for St. John's. And then I wrote down we'll just put St. John's.
So I understand that you're commissioning a study that will address the parking situation in the future.
We did actually commission a study previously. In
Yeah.
our previous rendition, the building was much larger. We were looking at a ramp.
Uh-huh.
I know that had been circulated at some point. We did an additional study now that we've reduced the size of the building to review the parking counts. Our architect did a study to look at what Stillwater and Woodbury were doing to make sure that we were aligned. And we do feel very confident that our parking plan is solid. That parking lot, nobody likes to park there, but previously in the
North one?
2008 edition of the conditional use permit, St. John's was actually going to build on top of a current building that we have now. We did not go through with that, and we actually built that extended parking lot where there's like a maintenance building over there. There's about 3 cars that sit in there every day, and then we're gonna add on to that. So we actually have additional parking that's vacant currently, and we're gonna add those 135 spots.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Is the architect here with you today?
I have a whole team here. I have everybody that you would like to talk to.
Because I have some questions on the design, actually.
Sure.
Because every other addition's been very uniform to the original hospital. What made us go with a different facade?
Oh, so what we're trying to do, I mean, part of that, I can speak to that, they can speak to it too, but part of it is trying to modernize the building, right? Can be a little bit, continue with what we currently have. If you notice on the building, some of it's brick, some of it's much more glass paneling. Our last addition, which was the cath lab that we put on, is metal panel, because it's really hard to match brick from 1985. And so what we're trying to do is make sure that we stay in uniform with the city and how the city would, so that we blend in, but also bring it up to, current design standards without, losing some of our history.
Yeah. Okay. Satisfied.
Anything else? Ananth, anything for you?
Yeah, I just need a clarification. Is the parking ramp on Hazelwood staying, or is that being knocked down and being replaced by the building?
That's actually being replaced by the building. So the parking ramp will become the building. So you can kind of see in here, just to the west of that new turnaround, that will be building. So that's where the current parking structure is right now, is right underneath, that's the current parking. So that half of that has a contract lot below, that's like a surface with a lower level. It's not really a ramp. But we will be demoing that. Some of that will actually become parking again, so we were able to maintain some of that parking to be able to keep our patients as close as possible to that main front entrance, keeping some parking near the ED, and then, but removing the ramp portion of that building.
So how many parking spaces are there in that ramp right now, and is that all being replaced in terms of total parking count?
The overall, the parking plan there, it's slightly decreased, but the parking is being replaced. So we have a plan. Maybe if you want to know all the details of the plan, I can certainly share that. But so patient parking, operationally where we're going to have that, there is some that will remain, will actually come back. And then we're extending the two parking lots that are north and east on the campus. I don't know if you want to go back to
I have a
that.
question for, apologize for the background noise here. I have a question for Elizabeth. Does this project trigger stormwater ponding?
They are,
With that parking.
Yes.
With
and
the
we-
parking,
yes.
It's included in the plans.
Excuse me, I turned my thing off. Yes, there is a stormwater plan included. You should be able to see that on the plans that you received. But if you want
Okay.
to talk about that.
Yeah, we have engaged an engineering company that has planned for the stormwater.
Yeah.
We have existing rain gardens that are there, and then the stormwater that's currently in place will remain. It's just for the new parking and the new building.
Okay.
Will there be
Looks like people from your team brought up a demonstration board.
Yes, we love.
Oh, we'd like to see that. But I think Anant had something to add.
No, just one quick thing. Are there any exterior lights proposed on the facade of the new building facing Hazelwood?
Not facing not facing Hazelwood, there wouldn't be any lighting on that side of the building, other than the windows from the patient rooms. The lighting would be around the entrance, so that you have that lighting in that turnaround area.
Okay.
And there's been no residential impact right there, anyway.
Residential impact, and the berms in the back that kind of hide the residents will still continue to
Okay.
remain.
There we go.
Bring them on up, yep.
So, we have a sample of the existing brick, somewhat like it.
Mhm.
So the existing brick that goes around the whole building will come in on that first floor, so we
Mhm.
tuck in underneath. What will be on top of that is something called a sintered stone. And what we've got
Oh.
is, this is it's basically stone that's pulverized and then kind of put back together in these panels that make it easy to
Mhm.
install.
Okay.
And that's,
It's all stone pressed together.
and we're currently, this is the original sample, and we've got, we're actually changing the color of it from that original sample. We've got, it's a product made in Spain,
Okay,
and the samples haven't arrived yet, but we're, you can see from the renderings, we're sort of making it a bit warmer.
okay, yep.
And then the darker areas you see in the windows is a similar, same kind of panel, but a different color to sort of decorate.
Can I see that one?
Access panel through those window assemblies. So it's the same type of material. And then we've got some-
I would like that for the floors of my house.
I think they do that.
Yeah.
Just technically a ceramic then?
No, it's not.
It's
What do you call the material?
Centered,
called a sintered stone.
yeah. Yeah, I like it, so.
They're big panels too, big,
Yep.
big sort of monolithic type panels. won't see any fasteners at all.
Okay, and what is the faux wood for?
That is for the underside of the campus.
Okay,
So to sort of warm that up, and then we'll have some metal panel as well.
Mhm.
And we've got some mechanical units and some upper story, the very top story where the elevator overrun goes will be some metal panel
Mhm.
that as well. So
okay.
that's our show.
Well, very good, thank you. Any other questions from the board? Ananth, anything?
I wasn't able to see the palette, but I'm going to depend upon you three to approve the finishes. The only question I have is, are they trying to match the existing brick with new brick?
Yeah, they had a brick sample, in North, and in the rendering, the brick looks really light. But I do believe from the sample, it looks pretty consistent. I've got a street view image up of the brick, and I would say it looks fairly consistent with the existing brick. I'm assuming
Okay.
you've had that brick sample out to the site to
Yep, we've,
check it for
Yes.
close match?
yep, and we're gonna match it as close as possible.
When-
Oh, I was like, I hear
And a lot of
somebody
it's gonna be
coming.
covered with the sintered stone then.
One, yeah, because that's kind of wraps underneath. But one question I had is the darker brown that you have there, how does that compare to the dark brown of the addition that went up, like a
The-
couple years
the
ago?
CSC is what he's asking.
Yeah, the CSC.
Yeah, it's,
It's very similar, I think.
it's similar, yeah.
Because that's pretty dark, that metal panel that
Yeah.
went up.
Yeah, it isn't quite as dark as that, but we're trying to sort of approximate some of the other details that are in the existing building. We can get an image of that or not, but, and this metal panel will be at the, just off the main entry, at the juncture point from at the new main entrance as it, and where the addition touches the existing hospital.
Okay.
All right.
I have one additional question. You have two different colors in your signage. In one image, it looks like it's either brown or maroon, and then it's white, which is consistent with the rest of the campus.
Yeah.
What am I to believe, for the signage colors? Where you have like individual letters, like it's M Health, Fairview, but the one that's over the emergency entrance is a different color from,
It may be just lighting from the rendering, but there's a new logo.
What are you looking at? Is there a way to?
this, I'm looking at this image here, side by side.
Presentation on the screen again?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things going on that you
Presentation
may
on the
or may
screen.
have seen on some social media and honestly in some new commercials that Fairview is currently going through a logo change. So we haven't landed exactly. It will most likely be white with our new logo that goes with it. I can't say that for sure because they haven't given me the exact information. It will not be the M Health with the yellow and maroon. It will most likely be white with our logo that goes next to it.
And Elizabeth, wouldn't this be something that would be like another item that we would discuss?
The site does have a comprehensive sign plan, so depending on, I don't have all the details of that pulled up right now, but depending on what types of changes are proposed, it's likely that it would come to the design board.
Come back to
yes.
us?
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about it right now?
Don't have to worry about it right now.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
not worry about
I-
it.
We're not gonna worry about it.
I was gonna get, if you want, I could try to pull that image up on the screen, otherwise.
No, I think, as far as I'm
No.
concerned, I think we're good.
Okay, all right.
It's
All
okay,
right.
if it's
You'll
not,
see some of that in our signage. We're going to be doing some signage updates before the building's even built, so you'll actually see it prior to the expansion.
Okay.
okay. I remember the last time you guys came through with a logo change and signage updates. Seems like that
I,
was-
I will not be that person that comes through with that. That will be a different team.
Really
It might
recent.
be somebody in this audience, but not me.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think it
I
looks
do have
really good. the
One
whole
other
thing.
request, though.
What?
I have one request.
Yes.
So, I apologize, I was gone last week, and I think that we maybe sent a call to see if we could get a variance for the screening requirements. So, when we built the other renditions of the hospital, there was not a screening requirement, and we made sure all the air handling units were painted all the same color, so there was continuity to that. We did that with this as well. In the packet, there is a description around meeting the screening requirements. A couple of things with that. One, it'll look totally different than the rest of the buildings because none of the rest of the buildings are screened. We did incorporate painting the air handling units, and actually we brought as many of the units down into the ground level and hidden as possible to reduce the amount of mechanical equipment that would be visible. We have screened the mechanical equipment on the ground level, so they're next to the new building. There's some screening there to be able to, anything that's really visible to the public on like a walking level, we want to make sure that we're screening that. We would just be requesting if we could put in a variance application in for the screening on the top level. It's a significant cost increase. There is some long-term plans, if we were to ever build, we would go on top of the building, so we'd have to take it down anyway. But it's just something that we were hoping that we could put in a variance application for.
How many units are there that would,
And do you know,
I think there's 6 units on top.
yeah.
are
And
they,
they'd all be painted the same as the rest of the building, as the current structures have.
Chair and board, if I may, this process would not be a variance, just to clarify.
Oh.
The ordinance requires screening of mechanical equipment, as you know. However, it does allow for the Community Design Review Board to waive the requirement. So that's effectively what they're requesting.
Thank you.
May I ask how far the rooftop equipment is set back from Beam Avenue?
yeah. Could one of the architects come up and on the elevation, could you put
Right.
the
If we could
flat
get the
elevation up to
PowerPoint
indicate where the
screen back
location
up?
of these are?
If we-
Because it is a 4-story building.
Yeah, we
Okay,
specifically
let's
showed
see.
them without screening, but they kind of blend in with the other roof elements, right?
Is
And
it
that's
shown
kind of-
on here?
Yep, so you can see the top, correct?
So
Yeah,
it's
that-
these,
In that top image, the top corner closest to us, that's actually a little bit to the right, yeah, that area right there, the corner closest to us with the darker color. No, go up.
oh, this?
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right there. That's actually elevator overrun area. But the little box to the left, or to the right, and to the left, I guess, those are mechanical units. The idea is that all that would look the same. It's like kind of rooftop units, but it's also the top of the roof, right? So, like Danielle said, in the future, 10, 15 years, this would go vertical. And those would all be enclosed inside a mechanical floor. So we're really hoping that we wouldn't have to do kind of temporary screening.
And
at
if you
this
go
time.
down to the section, to the right, oh, no,
Oops.
sorry,
Sorry. Oh, okay.
back to that, and if you look in the bottom right,
Yeah,
you can
bottom right,
kind of
yeah.
see where they're at
You
the
just-
very top, that you
very-
just
yeah.
see the very top of them from that vantage point.
We did show a couple renderings a little further back, so you could kind of see what you might see, yeah, right there.
What is the material?
I mean, it's gonna be mechanical unit material, right, but it's gonna be painted to match the metal panel. that
It'll
we
be
have on it.
metal that's painted?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah.
you won't see ductwork.
You won't see any ductwork, no.
And
Okay.
it's the same as the existing, probably how many?
Yeah, it's not like a unit that has a slanted, intake louver and that kind of stuff. These are big units that will look like painted boxes up there.
Yeah, we'll paint them to
Yeah.
make sure that
Paint.
they are
Are
kind
they
of like.
painted or powder coat?
It could-
Standard finish, we go through the approval process, color approval process, starting with the manufacturer. So it'll be the same material, it'll be on the typical units.
It's the same material that's on there right now, it's not gonna rust, not gonna.
Which I didn't even look at, so.
Well, I mean,
So-
it's an industrial building, so it it matches the design of the building at this point,
Okay.
after this many years. So, if it was a residential, I guess I would have more objection to that, but for hospital,
Yeah.
it seems reasonable.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Is there a parapet around, on the roof of the building? And is there an opportunity to raise the parapet height to screen those units a little bit more?
There is a parapet, I believe it's 2 to 3 feet tall right now. Of course, there is opportunity to raise the parapet everything costs money. We try to keep everything as tight as possible, right? That's the goal here.
We have to be careful about snow loading. If we raise the
Snow load
parapet
too, yeah.
more.
Okay.
Anant, you got additional questions?
No,
Want to make a go of it?
Do we need to add that last piece, though, of the variance of the, or not the variance, but the? Do we need to
Chair
make
and
some?
board, if it is your determination that you want to waive the requirement for the rooftop screening specifically, I just looked at is condition 6 in your design review resolution, that you would be, I guess, in this case, it says all ground-mounted and roof-mounted mechanical equipment shall be screened according to the ordinance. So in this case, it's up to you, but you could maybe just, instead of, getting rid of the whole condition number 6, you could say,
Or
to change it to just say
the
ground-mounted.
applicant will work with staff
Yeah,
on that.
that's great.
I have a question that's kind of unrelated to this, but does this impact, so you know how you guys have that semi that gets parked there with the, I think it's an imaging?
Our 2 MRI and
Yeah.
CT machines, yes.
Will those continue to kind of come the way they come, or is any of that, just from when you drive by the building and you just see the imaging units parked out there?
I do wish that our loading dock was not on Beam Avenue, yes. I'm just gonna put that out there. We are currently adding a CT to the interior of the building with the goal to reduce down. We may have to still have one, but the long-term plan would be to not have mobile units. But it's, MRI and CTs are about $3.5 to $4 million with construction, so we're just doing a little bit at a time.
Okay.
We are
Pe-
using them, I know. I don't love them either. I probably shouldn't say that on record, but I'm just saying. The demand in this area has increased significantly. So that's part of, that.
Understand the need for them, and obviously people need to get their, the proper care. It's just an observation, because I live really close to this, and I drive by it all the time, and it's the
Okay.
one thing from a design perspective, it's like, gosh, they're like the worst place.
Yep.
You can put them on this site. Anywhere but like off a beam would be delightful.
Okay. I appreciate that, and we will look at if there's a way for us to help with that visual.
I'm sure I'm the only one that was thinking about that.
We all have things to think about.
The rest of the design, I don't have any other questions on.
Yeah,
I think it's a reasonable campus expansion and materials. Anant, any additional questions or feedback on the design?
no, I like the overall facades, and I think they do a good job matching the existing building with the brick as well as the metal panels.
Okay. You want to do it, or you want me to do it?
You can take a stab at it. You've
All
got it
right,
in front of you.
I will make a motion that we resolve be it resolved that we will recommend approval of this project according to items on page 14 of the, you got, is there another page?
My PDF reader's freezing out of me, I can't read it.
Am I?
Okay, so your motion is the first one there.
Oh,
And then
that's
if, you-
more simple.
yes.
Okay.
And if you wanted to amend condition number 6 of your resolution.
Yep,
to
I will do
just
that.
state-
So I motion to approve the design review resolution, construct a 4-story, 189,600 square foot addition to St. John's Hospital at 1575 Beam Avenue East, with the addition that on item number 6 of section 3, that regarding the screening of roof-mounted equipment, that the applicant will work with staff to find a suitable solution to that.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I have one proposed change to the motion. I would like to be more specific in the screening. I would like to say that the ground-mounted equipment shall be screened per city ordinance, but we waive the requirement for rooftop equipment to be screened.
That the ground equipment will be screened. Is it screened right now?
Yes, it is.
Do a good job, because I didn't even notice it. So,
That's-
okay. So pretty much as it exists, I will accept that as a friendly amendment.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a couple seconds. We will take that to a vote. Bill Kempe says aye.
Jason Lamers, aye.
Tom Mazen, aye.
Anand Shankar, aye.
Okay, good luck with the other committees you gotta meet with.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your
Okay.
time.
All right, next item is design review resolution, Redeeming Love Church, 2425 White Bear Avenue North. Staff report, please.
So, next item here, Redeeming Love Church is proposing a 1,260 square foot addition to the building, currently 53,400 square feet, at 2425 White Bear Avenue North. It's a just over 9-acre site, formerly a Montgomery Ward office building. The city council approved a CUP for a religious facility in 1993, and at the same time, a remodel of the building, and it's been used as a church since. So tonight, they're requesting approval for a conditional use permit amendment and design review. The land is guided for public institutional uses and zoned limited business commercial. The future land use classification includes schools, fire stations, religious facilities, other city and state county-owned properties. The proposal meets the intent of the comp plan. A religious facility is permitted in any zoning district with a conditional use permit. And again, this was approved in 1993. There's no concern with the continued use of the site as a religious facility. The expansion requires an amendment to that CUP and design review. It's a single-story expansion. It expands an on-grade entrance to the building with an interior stair and ADA lift within there. Parking on the north side of the existing entrance will be removed and kind of reconfigured next to that new entrance. The exterior stairs would be removed. There's no other changes to the remaining areas of the parking lot or site. The site access and utilities will remain the same. On the interior, the proposal includes remodeling the sanctuary and lobby, installing new lighting, seating, and flooring. The church is hoping to begin construction coming up here in June and complete the project by November. The building addition will be a steel frame structure with a gable roof, and the materials are primarily aluminum and glass storefront with a small amount of pre-finished standing seam metal fascia and rock face CMU on the foundation wall. So the existing plain concrete that wraps around the building will be refaced with a pre-finished commercial horizontal siding. The existing concrete walls will remain as is. The landscape plan, the applicant will need to submit a tree removal and replacement plan and work with our environmental staff on changing out some of the species that they had proposed, but overall, no large concerns with that. The parking requires one space for every 4 people under the maximum building occupancy. Based on their plans and their narrative, the occupancy would require, based on the occupancy they've outlined, it would require 388 stalls. The final occupant load is confirmed through the permitting process and the issuance of that CO by the building official. The overall capacity of the building is not expanding, so additional parking is not required by code based on that. There's currently 367 parking stalls. They are removing some, but then replacing with a little bit more. So slight increase, bringing that total to 395. Staff is requiring that the applicant submit a parking plan along with their building permit plan, just detailing any areas on the site that maybe need to be repainted, restriped, or any pavement that might need to be repaired. We're also recommending that they consider putting in some landscaping strips in the parking design where this is practical and just to complement the overall, site and landscaped areas. This is not required currently in our conditions, but it's a concept that could be incorporated. The city can require these 10-foot wide planters or median strips for every 3 or 4 parking bays, and this is just to improve the overall look, but also prevent any high-speed movement. So we're asking for some direction tonight as far as if this is something you would like us to, add in there as a condition that they work to incorporate this. Right now, we think that there should be a level of flexibility because we obviously don't want to take away parking that they know they're going to need. We want them to be able to provide the parking they need. But we think it's something it's a concept that they could, incorporate. So this image on the right shows an example of what that could look like. Again, I think providing some flexibility is the key for that. So if it's something you want us to require, we would add this as a condition in the design review and CUP resolutions, just noting when we talk about the submission of a plan, clarifying that they would incorporate that. So here is our review process. We received comments from our building, engineering, and environmental and fire divisions. Public hearing notification was sent. No comments were received prior to the meeting. Tonight, we are taking a look at this with the CDRB and Planning Commission, and the council will be looking at this tentatively on the 13th of April. So with that, we have recommended motion. Happy to answer any questions, and we do have some representatives here from the project.
I don't have any staff, but I have a couple for the applicant.
Okay. We have somebody here I know from the church, and then the architect is here.
My name is Brad Stamp. I'm the administrative pastor at Redeeming Love Church. And
Also sign in.
yep. And Dennis Batty is the architect who's with me today, and he'll probably answer some of the questions when it comes to the building things.
This may be this probably would be for you. So for that parking recommendation, I can understand from a snow plowing perspective, having just one big wide open lot allows the drivers to go. This happens to be my voting precinct where I vote, and people drive all over that lot.
Yeah.
Nobody follows the lines. How big of a safety concern is that, when there's high traffic, events like voting, et cetera?
Just with people cutting through the
yeah.
parking spots, you mean? I mean, we haven't had any issues ever that I'm aware of in terms of an actual accident happening, but certainly you've observed it. It sounds like it's a big open spot, and people will drive through there they'll use our parking lot as a kind of cut through from Jervis to the the back.
They do
there and stuff. So, yeah.
That recommendation, how has that been perceived by your review internally around potentially breaking up just a little bit of that parking to create a little bit of to slow people down just a little bit and maybe change those behaviors?
Yeah, that's honestly the first that I heard of it. So I don't have a great comment on it. I did immediately think the same thing you did on behalf of our facilities manager, knowing how long it took him to snowplow this last weekend, catching up with all the snow that we had. So I thought of the same thing as far as I'm sure the plow company would love to just make it a lot easier. That being said, I think I don't think it's a major issue if it's something you think that's important. I don't know if Dennis, if you have thoughts about it or not, but I think my immediate thought was the facility manager is probably happier to have it wide open for maintaining, shoveling, and plowing as more than a major concern about speed and safety going through there. So
You had something else?
I do. My next one's gonna be though for the architect. I think the front entrance of this is beautiful, but we also designed really nice entrances to the mall, and they became bird nesting spots. And I'm concerned with the height and the architecture in that front entrance where those beams extend out from the facade. I'd like to know if there's any bird nesting mitigation that's being done up there, or how you're approaching, yeah, that's the view right there. Because if you go walk into any entrance at the Maplewood Mall, you see that it results in a
lot of bird
yeah, a lot of
mess.
bird mess that's on the sidewalks right as you would walk in the front entrances, and I could see the robins just loving that
Yeah.
as a nesting spot.
Maybe I'll let Dennis respond regarding the proposed structure. I can say we actually, even our current building has a lot of birds nest up there already. There's actually some tile that's there that we have to just open and let the birds kind of get up there, otherwise they just break them anyway. And so we have sort of deliberately designated spots for them to get to, so then it's easier to kind of clean up where they, but we do have, birds are an issue now, and I don't know, Dennis, if you want to speak to that.
My name is Dennis Matty. I'm the architect for the project. There would just be one kind of truss that would extend out from the facade of the building there. And what we've done in other similar circumstances, they're just metal that you can buy that's made the same color as the rest of it, they're probably, I don't know, 3-4 inches high, maybe an inch wide at the base, and go up to a point, and so it just forms this sharp edge that's consistent over the top edge of the beam, and I don't know of any way to, other than not having anything there at all to completely stop birds, but we've done that on a number of projects, and there's been minimal problems with birds. But birds are persistent, as you know.
And a couple observations about parking is that I'm not in favor of the landscaping detail on the parking lot for a few reasons. Is that looks like your parking lot's pretty full the way it is right now, and you said you're going to add parking spaces. I don't know how you could do it, and without narrowing the parking spaces. And I was out there today, and I measured your parking spaces, and I picked out 6 parking spaces at random. And I found that 4 of them were, my random selections were in compliance with the parking ordinance, 2 were not. Now, one of the spots that I picked at random was right by the front door. Those are going away anyway. So but the area that's on the north end, over by Hy-Vee, yeah, those were 9 feet, they're supposed to be 10 feet. So I'd hate to handicap you with losing any more potential parking area. I really liked having our parking ordinance the way it is. Another thing to consider is that if you have landscaping, you're gonna need irrigation, and your parking lot's in really good shape. And I'd hate to see you had to tear up the parking lot to run irrigation lines.
Well, I was hoping to have a chance to respond to the parking issue too. And I guess that would have been my first question. If we're going to put islands in there, are they going to be landscaped islands, or are they pavement? Are we just trying to stop, high-speed traffic through the parking lot? I mean, to put in a whole series of landscape parking lots would require, to keep them alive, would require some kind of irrigation system. And what you just said, we'd have to tear up the parking lot surface to be able to do that. I mean, I could see maybe one, there's an entrance, north is up, the northwest face of the building has an entrance into the building about at the midpoint there.
Yep.
And I could, if you wanted to stop people from going, breakneck speed through the parking lot there, if we could run a single like a sidewalk or something out there that would deter, high-speed traffic from just a clear shot through the parking lot if it was empty.
Yeah.
But on Sundays, the parking lot is comfortably full.
Let me ask this, if we had issues with crashes on that site?
I-
So,
No.
so I mean, I see what you're saying. I just think that you're talking like voting day, and when it's full, people are busy parking, attending, leaving.
Yeah.
So I think that you need your spots.
Yeah.
I had to ask questions. Staff had a nice thing. The feedback was good. I'm not necessarily pushing to make that change. I think there's a lot more entailed with that change request
Yeah, I don't think I'm not in favor
than
of
what
pushing
this
that.
entrance and the ADA
Yeah.
accessibility to the site is.
Chair and Board, if I can just say one more thing regarding that. The reason we were hesitant, those are all the reasons we were hesitant to put it on as a condition, and we just wanted to get your feedback on that. When we looked at the overall site, when you look at what the code says, is that the city can require this every 3 or 4 parking rows. And so when we looked at the overall site, we thought, well, that might only end up being maybe 2 spots where they could do something. And so we thought if there was a way that we could work with, if they could work with staff to come up with a plan that was reasonable, that worked within those issues that you've talked about, then, we would want to do that. But if it's not something we want to pursue right now, that's fine. Also, we understand they're not planning a whole repavement of their lot right now. So just wanted to have the discussion.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Also, just want to note that I appreciate that you have a rain garden on the north end of your property.
There's actually 7 of them on the
Yeah,
site.
well, that's the one I saw when I was out there today. So, yeah.
I'll do the motion.
Okay,
Does Anant have anything to add?
Yeah, I just need clarification on that blue on the entrance. Is that metal panel or is that glass? And what is the reason for that deep blue?
Well, it probably could have been rendered better than it was, but the blue is glass. We were trying to indicate to people who don't necessarily look at renderings that it was glass. It won't be a deep blue tinted glass. It will be a gray tinted glass.
Did you say gray?
Yeah, a gray tinted glass.
Okay.
okay. Tom, you wanted to,
Could you put the motion deck on the screen? I will, Elizabeth, I'll do the motion.
Oh.
So I'll make a motion to approve the design review resolution for exterior facade. Updates the building expansion to Redeeming Love Church located at 2425 Wiper Avenue North, subject to certain conditions of approval.
I'd like to make a friendly amendment that at this time, we do not recommend landscape islands in the parking lot.
And my friendly amendment is just to work with staff to identify if a bird nesting can be achieved in that beam on the front entrance.
I would agree with both those.
Okay, I will second. So we have a motion and a second. We will take it to a vote. Bill Kempy says aye.
Jason Lamers, aye.
Tom Maus and I.
Anand Shankar, aye.
Okay, congratulations. You'll move on and talk to the next people, I guess. Next thing is the CDRB annual report.
Yes. All right, since we are running long this evening, I will try to keep this
Will that be
quick.
presented to the city council coming up soon?
Yes, so I will just really quickly outline this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. So ordinance requires that the Community Design Review Board prepare a report to the city council each year. And so tonight we want to identify our chair or another member to attend the meeting coming up here on April 13th. We did this last year just to outline our annual report, which you received. The board's annual report is real quick. We met 9 times last year and reviewed 14 projects. We held our election of officers, which we still need to do here before our meeting is over. And then the other thing I wanted to highlight, I'll skip a few things, but that we are coordinating a training for the design board and the planning commission. And right now, we are looking at our next 2 regularly scheduled meeting dates, one of those. So it would be April 21st or May 19th. So please hold those dates on your calendar for right now. We are coordinating this as well with our city attorney, who is hopefully going to be able to attend as well, so he can maybe touch on some issues related to land use laws, meeting procedures, conflict of interest, those types of things. So mark your calendars for that. And then finally, we are going to continue to coordinate tours or individual site visits, looking at development sites. So I know that was a popular thing. Won't take any more time on that right now, but if you have any questions, please let me know.
Do you want somebody to represent the board?
Yes.
Okay.
We did
I
this-
can be there.
Perfect, thank you. So it's the council meeting, April 13th.
Got it in my calendar.
I'll send you an email as well. Last year, I put together just a little outline with this information. Yep, and you can, of course, add a little more to it if you'd like, but, all right, thank you.
I missed a brief, so we'll be good.
Okay.
Number 4, election of officers.
So with that, I don't have a whole lot to say, but you essentially have a conversation, make a motion, whoever would like to, have a conversation about who do you want to be the chair and the vice chairperson. Those are the 2 people the 2 positions we are looking at this evening.
Well, I'll make a motion for Bill to be chair for another year.
Thank you. I will accept. I'll make a motion that Tom be vice chair.
I'd
Well-
accept if
Jason, did you want a position?
I'll motion to approve the chair and vice chair remaining the same in 2026.
Okay, so maybe we'll do, Jason makes a motion for those 2?
Yep.
And then, we need a second?
Second.
I'll second.
And I'll second
Good
it.
to not. Okay, so we have motions and seconds. Bill Kimpy says aye.
Jason Lamers, aye.
Tom Osmond, aye.
Anand Shankar, aye.
All right, and unfinished business, nothing. Board presentations, nothing. Staff presentations, nothing. Anything from the visitors? No. Let's adjourn. I move to adjourn.
Jason Lamers, adjourned.
Tom Osmond, adjourn.
Okay, we're
Adjourn.
done.
Thank you.
3 minutes late.